We just got some crazy details that were revealed about the Yankees deadline plans from an MLB Network insider that has given us a clear path to what to expect from Brian Cashman going into this deadline. We'll break down the latest update and how Yankee fans should be ready for something huge to break in the matter of hours. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here on Yankees Digest, giving you guys a daily dose of Yankees content every day of the week. And if you guys are not subscribed to these videos, if you're not a part of that 24.5% who are subscribed to these videos, you guys better subscribe. Comment down below to join in on the conversation. The trade deadline is here. We're giving you guys all the content that you need surrounding the New York Yankees, and any breaking news is right here on Yankees Digest. But let's get right into this video, as starting off with the report from Jon Morosi, an MLB Network insider. He broke what the Yankees are looking at going into this deadline that is at 6 p.m. and a little bit more on what he said. He said, I do believe the Yankees will get one of these starting pitchers: Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, Zac Gallen, and Merrill Kelly. And Jon Morosi has just been linking all four of these guys to the New York Yankees, and starting off with Sandy Alcantara, a 2022 NL Cy Young Award winner. Definitely someone who's not having his best season so far, but he is definitely an intriguing guy that the Yankees can mold and have Matt Blake to develop for this season as well as next season, as he is on team control until 2027. So a guy who's had experience being an ace of a ball club. He's been in Miami, which is not a big market, but having that pressure, having that expectation of being an ace is definitely something that he can bring to the Bronx. And just a guy who has been on top of the world, been a 2022 NL Cy Young Award winner. So taking that experience and from what he has shown so far in his past two starts is something that is really something that I really want to share with you guys. And just looking at his starts, or looking at his season stats so far, I'll get to the starts in a little bit. 6-9 with a 6.36 ERA in 21 games started. So not having his best season by far, but when you're looking at where his contract is, he's signed through 2026 and he has a 2027 team option. So the Yankees could have him for the rest of this season, 2026, and if they choose to pick up his option, they could have him for 2027 and fill in that rotation spot that is kind of just up in the air right now for the Yankees behind Fried and Rodon. Heel is coming back. I'll talk a little bit more about him, but having another guy in this rotation to have a deep rotation, we know that pitching wins championships, and pitching will get you into the playoffs and get you far in the playoffs. And Alcantara, even though he's not having the best year so far, he is definitely someone I would love to be in pinstripes, because he has that pedigree of being an NL Cy Young Award winner, and he can bring that into the Bronx. And just looking at his last two starts, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And then 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So he's coming back into form at the perfect time. So the Yankees have to take advantage of this if they're going to go after a guy like Sandy Alcantara, who is looking more like his 2022 NL Cy Young Award player right now, just finding his form again and showing why he is still one of the top pitchers in the MLB. And what do you guys think regarding Sandy Alcantara? Do you feel that he can be a guy the Yankees is just a no-brainer? I definitely think it's a no-brainer. You just have to look at the price and what the Marlins are going to want from him, because he is the ace of their pitching staff. But moving over to another guy that was mentioned in that report is Zac Gallen. And Zac Gallen kind of like Alcantara, he's not having his best season number-wise, but you know that the upside is there. You know that he has pitched at a high level in his career. He had a great season in 2023, helping the Arizona Diamondbacks clinch the NL pennant and getting them into the World Series, but he has just not had the best season in terms of command and location. So he's definitely another project Matt Blake can continue to develop for this season. He is a rental, so that's going to be interesting how the Yankees want to address that, because the Yankees are looking for guys that can not just be for this year, but for years to come. So definitely a guy who the Yankees can go in and mold with Matt Blake. And just looking at his stats so far this season, 7-12 with a 5.60 ERA, 121 strikeouts. So he has the strikeout stuff, but his record is not really showing it so far this season. 5.60 ERA, but you know what he can bring to a start every single time he goes on the mound. And he has that championship pedigree. He has helped a team get to a championship, having success in the playoffs. And that is something that the Yankees would probably want to bank on, because knowing that it was just 2 years ago that he was pitching in the World Series, and being able to get a guy who has that experience in the World Series, in the playoffs, can definitely be an interesting guy that the Yankees can develop. And he's only 29 years old, so he's not even 30 yet. So he's in his prime right now, and obviously he's not having the best season, but he can definitely be a guy the Yankees can take on and not have that much of expectations, being probably the fourth starter behind Luis Gil when he does come back. And moving over to his counterpart, his teammate, Merrill Kelly. And Merrill Kelly, I feel, is a very intriguing pitcher for the New York Yankees to take, because compared to Gallen and Alcantara career-wise, he's not close to those guys at their peak, but he is having a better season than both of them. So just looking at his stats so far this season, if we can pull this up here, 9-6 with a 3.22 ERA, 121 strikeouts, and someone who can come in here and, he's 36 years old, so his age is not on his side, but he is definitely very effective, as you're seeing so far. 9-6 of the 3.22 ERA in 22 games started. So a baller who can come in here and be a good rotational piece for Aaron Boone, for Matt Blake, that can develop in here. And, when you're looking at this rotation, Fried, Rodon, Gil, and then having Kelly in here, having that experience, being a 36-year-old who's been with the Arizona Diamondbacks and been around this league for a while, that adds the wisdom to a lot of these young pitchers like Schlittler and Warren, that can learn a thing or two from Merrill Kelly. And just a little bit more on what Merrill Kelly can bring to this Arizona Diamondbacks team. And, when we talk about both of these guys, we'll start off with what Merrill Kelly can bring to this team. This was Philip Martinez on SNY. He said Kelly's numbers aren't flashy, as he doesn't strike out a lot of batters, and his average fastball sits in the low 90s, but he doesn't get into too much trouble. This season, batters are hitting 207 against him, a career best, and his 1.05 whip is the lowest since 2020. Batters are also chasing at a 31.3% clip, which is in the 82nd percentile in MLB, and whiff at 25.6% rate, which is in the 56th percentile. So a guy like Merrill Kelly, I mentioned before, he's very intriguing. And he's not the big name. I mean, he's not the Sandy Alcantara. He's not the Dylan Cease. He's not the Joe Ryan. But he could be someone that can fit into this rotation a little bit more under the radar. And he doesn't need to have the flashy stuff. We have the guys like Fried and Rodon that can bring it velocity-wise and having a change of movement. But Merrill Kelly seems like the guy who's just effective, and he's just nose to the grindstone and just getting guys out and making them chase. And banking on his production so far this season. His upside so far this season is something that the Yankees can definitely invest in. Probably don't have to give up as much as you would have to for premier guys as Zac Gallen and Sandy Alcantara. What do you guys think regarding Merrill Kelly and his impact for the New York Yankees if the Yankees are going to go after the Arizona product? But just moving to the pitcher that is coming back for the New York Yankees, Luis Gil. He was electric in his last rehab start. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And you've seen on that tweet, he is definitely ready for the majors. He's definitely ready to take that number 3 rotation spot, and the Yankees need this coming after the deadline as they are within striking distance of the Blue Jays and really trying to make their mark, make their push to a playoff spot. And just looking at what his stats are so far, you're looking at his 2024 season, 15-7 with a 3.50 ERA, and he has that velocity. He got batters, at a 189 batting average with 171 strikeouts, won Rookie of the Year last year. So when he's on the mound, he is very effective. And having his first full season in 2024, that was definitely a sight to see. And Luis Gil can just have that impact day one when he goes into against the Marlins on Sunday. That's what is being reported from the New York Yankees. And I definitely feel that Luis Gil has that ability to get back in this rotation and be an effective starter for this New York Yankees team. And, just looking at this rotation, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Luis Gil, and the guy that they would want to trade for, one of those starters, and then Schlittler, Warren, and Stroman. Not a bad rotation if you're going to add another guy to this rotation, at least having Rodon, Fried, and Gil, and then anybody else you add could be something that could be very special looking back on this trade deadline. But that's going to do it for another edition of Yankees Digest. Appreciate you guys tuning in to all of these episodes. We'll get you more content regarding the trade deadline, and any breaking news is right here on Yankees Digest. But I hope you guys have a great night. Keep up on Twitter with all the breaking news. And guys, let's go Yankees.